on this episode of Pixel Beast. I'm going to go with it. I'm going with it. We're talking about Fallout 76, the brand new roadmap. Oh man, it looks fantastic. Let me tell you. We're talking about co-op horror games and my co-op partner.
Oh,
he went from a boy to a man just a few days ago. We'll find out more on this episode, episode 4 of Pixel Beasts.
Okay. To anybody that watches this, I had no idea what he was gonna say, so this is just as new to me as it is to you guys.
Yeah, man.
I'm curious to know how I went from a boy to a man to your partner.
Oh, well, you know what? Let's get into that one right now. Everyone, as you know, live from my basement, Alex, that's his channel. Awesome channel. If anyone that listens to this has not heard of Live from My Basement yet, go there, support this mofo. I don't know if I can cuss. I can't remember if I said this explicit or not. Anyway,
look it up. I'll sit here and do elevator music.
But look it up, because this boy just hit 1,000 subscribers. Woo! Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Congratulations.
We're 2 minutes in and we're still doing the intro, and like I said, I had no idea how this was gonna go. Well, that was good.
I did want to start off with that because this is I can't tell you how proud and how envious I am. But mainly proud because your channel's awesome. All your content's awesome. It's always fun to make with you. And you know,
we have a good time. We have good times.
We had a good time. I wanted to take a second to thank you for creating awesome content and then to congratulate you. So,
well, homie, I appreciate it. It's basically like, everything that, you're in or that we do together on there. It's like, hey, it's the same thing that we've always done, but let's turn on a camera or let's turn on a microphone and see how other people like it, and people seem to enjoy it. So,
yeah,
I'm glad to have you aboard whenever you have the time.
Oh yeah, I will make time, baby. Working at the bank, man. I've got time for days. Great start. I say great start to 2020, but
it's like nothing can go wrong.
Apart from the pandemic.
What are you talking about? There's a pandemic?
There's a pandemic? Oh, God. I haven't left my house in 3 months.
If this is your first time here, now this is like a breaking news. If you guys did not know, there's a pandemic.
Good God almighty. Good God. Oh, my God. Pandemic outside.
Whenever I do these podcasts, sometimes I hold the microphone in my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm almost always drinking peach teas out of my mini fridge, and it's hard to get the lid off with just
Dude, you need to get one of the those little extendo arms you can put on your desk.
Yes.
Worth every penny. That's what I use.
Like an extendo arm to reach into my mini fridge and grab a peach tea?
That way you can hold 2 peach teas.
Oh,
you can have the mic next to your mouth like this, and you could be holding 2 peach teas at the same time. I mean, Alex, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's whenever we would record any gameplay thing where I'm on camera and I'm playing a game, say I'm playing Modern Warfare and we're playing Gunfight. You live, you die in pretty quick succession. And I did one with Matthew a couple months ago. I don't remember which, but he watched it and he messaged me. He's like, dude, you have no idea how often, it's like every time you die, you reach over and take the lid off and take a drink and then scramble back to your controller and putting to play again, put the lid on as fast as I can, drop my bottle, and then I'm back in. It's like every life.
You're automatically putting yourself in a disadvantageous state. Disadvantageous.
Dude, that word went way over my head.
It's like you put yourself at a disadvantage. Why could I not get there? Oh, good God! I don't know what's happening right now.
Words are hard.
All right. Well, we're 5 minutes in. Okay. I think I've got all the excess energy out. I've got my peach nectar ice next to me.
Ooh.
Let's talk about some news. Well, I guess first and foremost, let's talk about let's talk about some horror co-op games
Horror
instead.
co-op.
Yes. Man, we've been playing a few of those lately, and I wish we'd been getting on more to play those. I've been having so much fun.
Yeah, like it's kind of funny because I make I don't like to think my channel is about any one game or any one piece of entertainment, but one thing that I love, and I feel like one of the reasons why I wanted to do gaming commentary on a YouTube channel is because I was like, man, I got a group of friends that whenever we're all playing games together, it's like I've always thought like it's not even me. It's just like the banter between everybody is hysterical. Though I was like, but I'm probably the only person in the world that thinks this is funny. And just because I feel like every group of friends at games probably thinks the same thing. Like, man, I got the dumbest group of friends, but I think we're funny to watch. It's like if anybody's gonna watch my content, or at least the co-op games that I play, it's gonna be the people that are playing. So it's like I kind of did it for like my friends that are in there so they can watch how stupid we are. But
especially if your brother is on.
Yeah.
And you get late enough into the night where his filter kind of shuts off and he starts talking about like the Taliban and calls them towelheads on stream.
Oh yeah. We're only live.
Yeah, that. I mean, whatever. All bets are off at that point.
He apologizes every time we stream. Anytime he's going to be on a stream, and we're like, okay, is everybody ready to rock and roll? And everyone's like, yeah, mic check, this, that. And he's just like, before we go, he's like, I am so sorry.
I'm so sorry in advance.
Yeah, but getting back onto the co-op horror,
Predator Hunting Grounds.
Yeah, dude. Like we've been playing quite a bit of that. I feel like we've dude. It feels like I want to say we played a lot, but I feel like maybe it's gone by so quick. We're like level 40s, 50s already.
You guys, I think you guys are. I think you guys play more than I only get on when you guys get on. So I don't think I'm as high.
Like, I mean, I think there was one night we played where you didn't get on, and we were bummed because Matthew. That was Matthew's first night on, and you weren't on, and we didn't have a full game.
I'll have to check my level then. I've never checked my level. I see that game is so fun. I don't even think about that progression thing because I have so much fun playing the private matches with you guys that I don't even think of that. Like, I think the last thing I unlocked before the last time we played, the last thing I unlocked was the net gun. And I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get back on and net people.
Yeah, dude. Well, yeah, we need to get on and record some more, dude. Like, it's so much fun. And I think one of the reasons, like, why we gravitate towards horror co-op in particular is the fact that with our particular cast of characters, our group of friends that we play with, we are it's like if you take us and put us in a very serious situation, like commandos in the middle of the jungle being hunted by an alien from outer space. It's like you take
trying to hunt down Bigfoot.
Or you take four of our friends, and you put us in the middle of the woods and trying to hunt down Bigfoot, a very serious, scary situation, and we're the four most unserious people in the world. And
dude, the views on that video are criminally low. I seriously, your next video, your intro, I want you to turn people to that video. Just say, hey, look, I know it's 30 minutes, but it's 30 minutes of gold. It's worth every single second of your time. Like, people have to see how great that is. I've watched that video 6 or 7 times already. It is one of my favorite videos of all time.
And that's a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. It's like, if I'm playing with a group of friends, it's like, yeah, I know it's going to be fun. There's going to be some really funny parts. There's going to be, just because of the cast of characters that are playing. But I love putting them on for you guys because it's like, hey, we're all in there together. And this is, we were laughing our asses off doing it. Now go back and rewatch what it, and re-experience it, And it was a lot of fun. And like I was saying, it's like if you take because I remember we talked about like this isn't a horror game, but we played Verdun, a World War I shooter. Yeah. and it's super like slow paced, super ultra like realistic with authenticity. You get shot once, you're dead. It's trench warfare, and so there's a lot of downtime. And it's like if you take a really serious game that's about like gritty, dirty authenticity, and then have a group like us playing where we have downtime, that's where the magic happens, and that's where the funny stuff starts to come in. Is what we do with that downtime. It's what the downtime while we're hunting Bigfoot. We're searching for Bigfoot. What are we doing when we're not engaged with Bigfoot? And then Bigfoot shows up and throws all of our plans, and it into into the air, and it's funny, and I love it.
I've been on a kick of wanting to play more of those games. I bought I bought The Forest because it was on sale, because I've heard so many good things, and playing this made me want to go play that. I bought that one that you told me about, the Into the Depths.
Oh, Depth. Yeah.
Depth. That's the like the one where you're underwater swimming, and one person is the like I bought that one because I'm so excited to play that one too.
Dude,
I'm so in the mood for these games. They're just because they get so chaotic, and they're so like there's so much random potential in those games for just crazy situations. And like you said, I think with our group,
we don't handle pressure well.
We don't handle pressure well, and everything goes downhill very quick. I think that's very apparent.
For decades, and will immediately abandon each other to not get eaten by a Bigfoot or a shark or a predator, anything. And it's fun. And like you said, like The Forest, I played a few hours of a couple of years ago. I had a great time, so I'm gonna be going in pretty fresh with you. And, I know our friends have it too. So that's definitely going to be an episode of something we can do. We talked about doing depth, all diving into the ocean and hunting for treasure while one of us is playing as a shark. And we need to do depth around the same time we do Maneater too. Or I guess Maneater is a single player game, but yeah, keeping in the theme of sharks eating people. Except eating people.
This other one that I bought, or that Ethan was telling us about, the Satisfactory.
Yeah, I finally remembered to watch that trailer.
I'm actually excited. I saw it's on sale right now for the Epic Game Store. I'm so excited to try it, man. It looks so good. And like I watched this video. I've been hooked on this YouTuber called Let's Game It Out, where he takes these kind of games like Satisfactory, these like I don't know what genre game they'd be even called, like house or like hospital simulator or construction simulator or esports team simulator, where essentially it's these games. Do you understand like the type of game I'm talking about? Yeah. Well, he takes these types of games to get you. He takes these types of games and plays them in a way that like breaks the game, and he like does things that you wouldn't expect to do with the game, and it's like the funniest crap ever. And he had an episode where he did Satisfactory, and it looked so freaking fun when he played it. And now I'm like, okay, now I want to get on with Ethan and Zach and you and get on and play this and and see all the random like just conveyor belts and crap that we can do.
Yeah, dude, I finally remembered to watch that trailer. Ethan's been wanting us to watch it, and I always feel bad when he asks about it. So I was upstairs, and I was like, I need to remember to watch this trailer, and I watched it, and it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, if you have an extra $26, well, actually, no, I take that back. I got it for 16. So if you go, they have their mega sale going on right now. So if you log on to the esports or Epic Game Store,
right,
and you click into their mega store link, they give you a free $10 off coupon. So that mixed with the 30% discount already makes the game from like $39.99 to $16 or something.
Damn, that's not bad.
So I got it for 16. So it's installing right now.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to check that out.
And then, of course, GTA 5 is...
Oh, yeah, it's like you get your sale, and then you get your $10 off on top of a free GTA, and then next thing you know, you got a good deal.
That one, I'm not even concerned with multiplayer. I downloaded that specifically because I want to try to break it with mods. Oh yeah. My God.
I've seen so many like people play GTA 5 with mods, and I'm like, man, there's some crazy stuff you can do in that game. And it's for free right now. on Epic Games Store. So if you're watching this while it's relevant, check it out.
So going kind of going back around to Predator Hunting Grounds, something I wanted to ask you, because I think I think you've played it more than everyone.
I think I've played it. I think I've played maybe not much, but maybe just a little bit more.
But I think you've played more like multiplayer matches.
Yeah,
matchmaking. I haven't played any matchmaking.
Oh, I
think I played the one night that I played matchmaking. It was with you guys, and then as soon as someone else came on, we immediately went back to private. Like that's the only time I played matchmaking. So I'm kind of curious, like, how do you see people playing the game on matchmaking?
Like, what do you mean? Like how is the matchmaking? Like, how do I see them? Or
well, like how does the game flow versus like
when you're playing with friends?
Yeah, versus playing private with us as opposed to playing, with randoms on a matchmaking server. Like how much different does the game play?
Okay, I will say that it's games like that. If you can have a full game of your friends, I feel like that's better. I mean, what's so great about a game like Predator Hunting Grounds is like the max player count is 4 people for the fire team and 1 predator. So if you have 5 friends or 4 friends, including yourself, that have the game, you don't even have to worry about if the server shut down. You can always land the game. You know what I mean? And that's great. You don't have to worry about the player base moving on. And playing a game like that versus your friends is always going to be more fun, just because it's not just, oh, I ripped out your spine and I'm flinging it around a tree. It's I ripped out, Jake's spine and I'm flinging it all around in the tree. And that's always going to be more fun. And but when you play online, it's actually kind of funny. I streamed a match because I wanted to get content on my channel of the game, and there was one night I got on. I was like, I decided that's what I was going to stream, but no friends were on, so I just jumped into matchmaking and I just started recording. I was going to see how it went down, and I had a match where I played as the Predator where I won. And by the end of the match, I killed 7 people, like real players. I killed 3 of them in one encounter. Then the guy respawned all 3 of his teammates, and the second time I fought them, I killed all 4 of them. And I was yelling, I was streaming it for a video, and I was yelling and, hollering and, just having a great time. And it wasn't until the end of the video when it was over and I was thanking everybody for watching, because I did it all live. And I was like, hey, thank you to everyone who watched, blah, 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 blah. I heard them laughing. They're like, dude, that was so much fun. And I left it in the video because I was like, hey, guys, can you guys hear me? And they're like, yeah, bro. And I was like, dude, that was so much fun. And the video actually ended with our conversation, that I had with the people that were in the video. I told them,
that's kind of cool that they weren't like, pissed off or,
no,
that's awesome that they actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. And because when I went back and I was actually watching the video, I could hear them when I was attacking them. I just couldn't tell because, I was commentating. So I was talking and yelling and doing whatever, but whenever I attack them, they'd scream and yell, he's here, he's here, he's here, and it's all in the video. And so I feel like, if you're playing with your friends, you're guaranteed to have a good time. You're going to be hunting your friends or being hunted by one of your friends. But when you're playing with randoms, if they're going to have a good time and they're mic'd up, it's good. It was fun, Like I just happened to get into a game with people that were mic'd up, that were having fun, even though they were losing. And that's actually in the video what I thanked them for. I was like, hey guys, I know you guys lost. I actually recorded this, blah, 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 for my channel. But it's awesome that you guys had a good time, even though you guys didn't win. I enjoyed playing with you guys. And then, that's where I cut the stream off. But yeah, playing with it really just depends on who you're playing with. You can control that if you're playing with friends, but if you're playing with randoms, there's cool random people out there. So
it's cool that they weren't taking it serious. One thing that bugs me, and I try not to, and I'm not like this as much with video games anymore than for some reason, like a few years ago, I was like hardcore, like, especially if it came to anything like Battlefield related, like Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline, anything like that.
Right.
I'd instantly get into try hard mode. And I'm like concerned about how the game runs and just, oh man, the game's running like crap today. This is ridiculous. Why can't they fix, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, I finally had an epiphany and I realized that, that doesn't matter anymore. or doesn't matter, period. So like,
don't have enough time to play games, like very much time to play games. I might as well enjoy it.
Yeah. So now when I play games, I enjoy games. It's so weird, and now if like something goes wrong, I don't think much of it. It's like, it is what it is. The game will get patched, and it's a work in progress. They're doing their best. It's weird how you look at these kind of things the older you get. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is these kind of games, as like this one. Well, I guess like this one, and maybe Friday the 13th too. I feel like these kind of games, you shouldn't get upset or mad if the game is imbalanced a little bit, or if it's not working the best, because it's not about it being a competitive tight shooter. It's about creating this atmosphere and putting you in this moment and having this chaotic fun with your friends. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, so whenever we play, sometimes that comes out and I get a little bummed. And it's like, come on. I mean, the game's not about that. It's about, enjoying the moment with your friends and, and creating this moment of fear and just immediacy. You know what I mean?
100%, because we've talked about this a lot when we were actually playing Predator. Because when our first impressions of Predator Hunting Grounds was before I learned how to play as the Predator, was, man, the Predator is super like squishy. He's not very powerful, and we kind of thought, well, maybe it's because they're trying to make the game balanced. For it's like 50% of the time the Marines will win, and the other half of the time, like it's a 50-50 chance whether or not the Predator's going to win or the Marines are going to win. But then we realized we just didn't know how to play as the Predator, and the Predator is actually pretty OP. I just didn't know how to play as him. And we got to talking about like games like Friday the 13th. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And what's funny about that is like, you don't want a game like this to be balanced. You don't want a game like Friday the 13th to be balanced, because that'd be lame if 50% of the time Jason gets his ass kicked in Friday the 13th.
Right. You don't want to go into the game. You don't want to go into the game confident that we're going to kick Jason's ass, or coming into this game like, okay, we're going to fuck up this Predator.
Yeah,
exactly. This is gonna be nothing. We're going to set up defense. We'll lure him out. It'll be easy. You don't want that. You want it to be imbalanced. For that reason, you want to go in like when they randomly,
I'm going to lose.
Right. When they randomly pick who the Predator is, you want to be like, fuck. Oh man, I'm a mercenary. I'm going to get my ass kicked. And then you're freaking out. That moment is created already. So as soon as you jump into the game, you're already on edge, because you're like, God, the Predator, he's so OP. Like, he's going to kick my ass. Oh my God. Oh, there he is. And you like freak out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the point of these games.
And it makes the moment when you get into the chopper that much more satisfying, because you're like, I went in with slim chances and I got out. And when you're playing Friday the 13th, it's like, Jason's going to win 90% of the time, but you're chasing the thrill of that 10%.
If you take down the Predator and he gets kneeled down, you're like, you feel like you take this sigh of relief, because you defeated this like overpowered monster killer.
Yeah.
Like you should have that feeling. And that's why I hope there are, with my take on the game, there's some control things that I think they can probably polish a little bit more and make it a little more tight and not feel as sluggish. But apart from that, I hope they don't change hardly anything. I want the Predator to be overpowered. When I go in as a mercenary, I want to go in knowing that I'm probably going to die.
Yeah.
Because that's how you should feel. You shouldn't feel like you're just because you're this squad of people, you're going to take on this Predator and it's going to be nothing.
Yep. It's just like at the end of a Left 4 Dead campaign, you're like, I want to escape, but when you escape, it's by the skin of your teeth, and that's great. And that's great, fun gameplay that you want to keep going, and you want to chase that, and that makes a good, fun game. They actually did add an update to the game. I think it was the last time we were playing, because as you probably know, and I think it's worth mentioning that with Predator Hunting Grounds in particular, the Predator, the fun of the game is really going to come from the skill of the Predator. If the Predator sucks, we did games where we dropped the Predator and it was like, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. But if the Predator is even moderately skilled, then the fun factor jumps way up.
Here's the thing. I've noticed the few times that I have played in matchmaking with you guys while we were waiting to get into a private match full.
Yeah.
I've noticed that the Predators have all sucked. We have never came across one Predator that I played with you guys that has been good. Like they've tried to attack you in the first phase of your intel missions, and then they die almost immediately. The game's over in 4 minutes.
Yeah,
And and I noticed with some of us, like that's why, and that's the other reason I love the private matches too, is because the private matches, we regardless if we're good or not, we stalk our prey. So it's like if we don't get you on the first one, we're following you and we're gonna wait for the opportune moment to attack. And then it always comes down to the chopper phase. Yeah. And that's what I love about it so much. But the one thing that I hate so much, and don't take this the wrong way, I hate when you're the predator because you're so damn good at it. And I hate it so much.
And I feel like it just comes down to I've played it up as a predator quite a bit. I literally have not played as a Marine unless I'm playing with you guys. If I'm playing an online match, if I'm playing an online match, I queue as the predator because that's what I want to get good at as the predator, because I know that that's where a lot of the fun comes in for everyone else. It's like if the predator is good, if the games are close, that's fun. And but yeah, I think I got my predator
just so you know, it's working. Like every time you queue as the predator, I'm like, fuck. But that's the feeling that I want from that game. I want to go in like, oh god, like Alex is a good predator, which means we've got to be on our toes. We've got to be communicating. We can't stray too far from each other, because if one of us gets too far away from the pack, that person's screwed. So like every time that you've been predator, you obviously can't see because you're not there, but because you're the predator, you're stalking us. But every time that you're the predator, I always make sure that I am either the second or third person in the group. Like if we're traveling from mission to mission,
back of the line,
I don't want to be the first, and I sure as shit don't want to be the last.
Yeah,
because I know for a fact that if we start to get spread out, like you're gonna go for the first. You're gonna go for the people that are farthest away, which is 9 times out of 10 the first person or the last person. And I don't want to be those people, and I don't want to be near those people.
Yeah, I always one of my favorite times to attack the fire team is I let you guys do an objective, and it's when you guys are leaving the objective, because I mean this is going to kind of give you a little bit of insight to how I play, but they whenever people are leaving an objective, some people head to the next objective without thinking, and some people stop to put mud on. I go for the people who stop.
So I will say the last time that we played and we kind of tested out the Predator's cloaking, that helped me out so much, because one thing I like, it's so weird. Like I feel like I'm really, really, really good at stalking and getting that quick attack on someone that, like, if someone falls behind, I'm going to be there. But when shit starts hitting the fan, like I'm not very good at like reacting to certain situations. But once I figured out how the cloaking worked that one night, I was stalking you guys. I wish I was recording just to show you. Like I spent more time on the ground, like 5 feet from you, standing still. Like there was one time where, it was the objective that's like near, it almost looks kind of like a swamp, and there's a road that goes on like the far side.
Yeah.
Well, there's this Jeep that kind of sits on the road right next to the swamp. And I got there about the time that you guys did, and I landed. And as soon as I landed, it made a noise, and someone's like, "Oh God, he's here!" I think it was Matt, actually. I think he was like, "Oh God, he's here!" And I stood next to the Jeep the entire time, cloaked, because if you stand still, it goes down super slow. And I think I have some sort of thing where it perk where it consumes less power, so it lasts forever. Right. But I stood still, and literally, Zach, Ethan, and Matt walked by me 6 or 7 times, and I sat there watching them the entire time, and it was so fun. And then I was able to get someone down behind the Jeep, and then I think I waited too long, and I was trying to wait for someone to actually pick him up, because what I was going to do afterwards, as soon as he was in the process of picking him up, I was going to pounce and do a slam on both of them.
Oh, yeah.
Because the other two, because you and Zach I think it was Ethan and Matt, because you and Zach were far away, and I was waiting. And that's why one thing I wish that it kind of showed from the predator's view if you were reviving more as opposed to just standing next to them, because I was waiting. I waited too long, and about the time that I started pouncing, they both got up and shot me and killed me. But
Gotcha. Yeah, I think my favorite moment that I've had in that game, I was actually playing as a fire team member in a full. It might have been the night you didn't play, but I was one of my strats. Another spoiler to how I play is if I'm playing as a fire team, I've been really digging playing as a sniper with a bolt action sniper, like the heavy damage, because it does so much damage. I can shoot a predator's mask off with like 2 shots. You know,
your tip of staying out of the trees too was really helpful.
oh yeah, the tree. If unless you've been in the trees and you're not moving and they don't know you're there, then yeah, I like to stay on the ground as much as I can. But but one of the things I'll do is like say there's like a compound that we have an objective in, and my whole fire team goes and runs in. It's a bit of a risk reward thing, but a lot of the time I won't go into the town. I will mud up and get on a perch, and I will wait. And I'll just sit there and make sure that I'm mudded up and just trying to stay as cloaked as possible. And I just watch my team with the sniper rifle.
You were doing that the last time we played, and I
yeah,
remember this.
I lay there and I just watch with my sniper rifle because I wait for the predator to show up and attack them. He's usually in the trees, so I position my place where I could see like a 360 around the compound, and I just sit there and I wait for the predator to show up, and I shoot at the predator while he's going for you guys. And that's one of the things I love to do. But one of my favorite moments I had is I was doing this. I was mudded up. Ethan was the predator, and I was just watching, and all of a sudden my screen shook. And I was like, what the hell was that? And I was like backed up on this cliff with a tree to my left. And I just remember I turned around and I looked, and he was right there. Like we were butted up right next to each other. He's got his cloak on and he's got his laser sight on and he's aiming it into the compound. And I was like, he doesn't see me because he had his heat vision on. And I rolled over and I just shot him right in the forehead. And then Ethan goes, "What the hell?" And he just takes off running. And I
love when Ethan's the predator because I think he struggles the most as the predator. Just from playing with him, I think there's certain parts of the control that I think he's not a big fan of, so I think he struggles a little bit more. But it's always so fun when he's the predator.
I mean, like I said, that's really probably my favorite moment in the game, and it wasn't from a lack of skill from anybody. I think it was just the perfect storm. Maybe he just came in really fast and didn't see me. But me rolling over and seeing him there in his full camouflage was the most immersive part of the game, where I was like, they nailed the feeling of the movie, and I was like, that's awesome. You know, I wish I could have recorded it because it was so freaking cool.
My favorite moment was either the first or second. No, it was the first night we played, and it was the first night. It was the first time that Ethan had played Predator, and he attacked us right from the beginning. And then he ran away, and everyone kind of ran away. But I saw where he went, so I ran after him. And as I ran behind this big tree, I see him standing behind the tree. He had just cloaked and started healing himself, and I had the barrel of my shotgun looking right at the back of his dome. And I looked for a second, and I don't think I told him about this. I don't think I told anyone about this because he never saw me.
Yeah.
So I went up behind him and he just cloaked. He started healing. And I'm like, oh, here it is. I'm like, no, I don't want to do this to him. I'm going to spare you. I was like, I'm going to spare you this time. I'm going to spare you this time.
Every time I run away to heal. And this last update actually fixed that a little bit, because do you remember it got to the point where if you killed the predator, he took away his health, he had second wind, which is like he had a little bit of shields and he had to run away and heal. But it became obvious to the fire team, if you see him go into second wind, you chase him. He's going to stop to heal, and then you shoot him and you kill him. They updated the game to where when you go into second wind, you can now jump. You could not jump before.
Oh, so okay.
Now you can
Because I
jump.
know that they updated it where you get flashed when you get
Yes,
when he
that's
goes in the
the
second
biggest,
wind,
most important
which
thing.
I
When you go to
I
second wind,
appreciated that. Even as the mercenary, it made it more challenging
yeah,
because he runs off and you're like, okay, you can't immediately go chase him.
yeah, and because I mean, game over. As soon as you saw second wind, it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, Predator's fast, but he's gonna stop to heal, and we're gonna gun him down and win the game.
yeah.
And
Unless he leaps all over the place and he gets somewhere where you can't get, that's the only chance that you have getting away. But
right,
that you
but
couldn't do
before
that
that
in
update, he
second wind.
couldn't jump, so he just had to
Yeah,
run. And so now that he can jump and he has that flashbang, it's so much better. It's like
good. I'm glad that they did that.
and they did it
They really
fast
needed that
too.
for
Like
sure.
a couple days after launch, they patched that in. I was like, dude, that's a hot fix, man, and it's a good fix.
This is the same dev team that was on Friday the 13th, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm really glad that I'm really glad that the projects that they go after are like the old like horror and action movies. You know what I mean? Like
dude.
it's such a weird niche thing to go towards, but it seems like it's such an untapped market.
Dude, it is. You know, Friday the 13th, only reason it got made is because they made a GoFundMe. They made a GoFundMe and to make Friday the 13th a game, and it did so well that they hit all of their rewards goals. You know, kind of like Kingdom Come Deliverance was a GoFundMe, and they made a great game, a great multiplayer game. And
You know,
now they're out making. They've made a name for themselves as the people that make good co-op horror. And dude, I'm telling you, they obviously have the Fox license. You know, they're doing Predator. Dude, I'm telling you. And I said this before they ever announced Predator Hunting Grounds. I love the Predator, but I was like, dude, they need to go for Alien. And can you
right?
imagine? Like,
Could you
oh, that'd be so.
could you imagine like a 4v1, 4 or 5v1 like alien game where you're trapped on this claustrophobic ship,
Ship. Yeah, dude.
just like
I
Alien
thought about this.
Isolation, but
Yeah,
multiplayer. That
yeah,
sounds so crazy to me.
dude. And I want to have multiple ways to win. It's
Hmm.
like the goal of the humans is they got to like they have to get off the ship or kill the alien or both, depending on
Yeah,
what you do. So it's like it's just like the first movie. You have to like, oh man, if you can make it to where the group has to split up, that would be, oh my god. Like to where it's like one group has to go and set the ship to self destruct. Which, if you remember from Alien, makes the ship scary as shit. The
yeah,
alarms going off, the fog's everywhere, and say the other team has to go prepare a life pod. And like you either have to kill the alien, eject it into space, or escape the ship and leave the alien to blow up on the self destruct. Dude, that sounds like an amazing game. To where it's
yeah.
kind of like Friday the 13th and Predator mixed, to where it's first person like Predator for the humans, but I want it to be like Alien Isolation, to where you're not everybody has a gun. Maybe
Right.
one guy has a gun, and the rest of us are you like crafting like devices like an Alien Isolation. Like I crafted a Molotov cocktail, or like this guy, you know, like just or a stun gun that just keeps the alien away, or a
Yeah.
flamethrower. You know,
That would be the only like major thing I could see that would be really challenging is making not making it balanced, but making the humans fair against against the alien,
yeah,
because especially if you're making them like slow and sluggish and they don't have weapons and stuff, you want to make it harder for the alien to get a hold of them,
yeah.
just to kind of balance it out a little bit more. But
I feel like the
yeah,
only way
that
you
would
can
be a
really do
sick
it is
game.
make. Yeah, dude, I would love that because I mean, the Alien. I mean, I love Aliens, the second one, but Alien is like perfection when it comes perfection, but it's absolute perfection when it comes to claustrophobic sci-fi horror. And it's like in that retro 80s looking ship. Oh man, dude, I've talked about
Here's
this
what they need to
so
do.
much on the
They need
podcast.
to remake AVP.
Me and Zach actually just talked about that too because I was talking about
Oh,
Alien. He's like, dude, they need to do AVP. They did Predator, and now you can do Alien. I'm like, yeah, that'd be good, but I want an Alien game first. I
yeah,
want
I
an
can
Alien
get that.
game
Yeah,
first, and
Alien game first, but then do AVP. But I want the humans versus Predator versus Alien mode
yeah,
from the
AVP.
360 version.
Oh, dude,
That fucking, you know what? That game still doesn't get enough praise for how much content it had.
no,
It
three
had
campaigns.
3 separate campaigns,
Yeah, dude.
like 3 full-fledged, like different types of gameplay, depending on like which here
Which
character you picked.
right?
Like that was such a feature heavy game that
Mhm.
never got praised for that.
Yeah, I feel like the reviews for that game back in the day were like, they're like, yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. 7 out of 10. But it's like, dude, there's like so much there. I mean, I granted, like, and that's what sucks is like you look at that games, fun factor, and I try to think about this because I'm trying to, do more reviews and things like that. It's like, fun factor. How do you put like, say whether something is worth the price, and
Right.
like, I mean, we talk about Sea of Thieves, for example. When that game first came out, I did not think it was worth $60, but I know people, and people who love the game, and they definitely got their $60 worth. Like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how do you say this game is a 3 out of 5 or a 5 out of 10 when different people enjoy different things? So like with AVP, it's like, dude, as an Alien fan, as a Predator fan, and an AVP fan, the game's great. But if you just look at it for pure, like, if you're not an AVP fan, you're not a fan of the source material, it's just
It had a lot of customization too. Like you had different, like you had different Predator masks,
yeah,
like a bunch of them,
and a bunch of alien customizations, a bunch of
Yeah.
human skins. But yeah, it's a very underappreciated game. To this day, it's one of my favorite versions of Infection. Playing Infestation with the Marines
Yeah.
and the aliens is incredible.
That's true. Yeah.
I hope they just tack that on at the end. Like, if you make an alien game, Ilphonic, make the survival game. But since you've already proven that you can make shooting mechanics with Predator, just tack on an extra mode that's Infestation.
Isn't AVP backwards compatible now?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's what I love. I love
that. I thought, yeah,
because I got my progression back from the 360.
You know what's funny about that too is, so I gave away my 360 and all my video games to one of my friends' nephews.
Right.
But the one game that I kept, Alex, was AVP, because I knew one day they would make that game backwards compatible on the Xbox One. I knew it. I'm like, I'm going to hold on to this. This game went through 3 or 4 moves and into my final house, and it finally went backwards compatible. I'm like, I knew it. I knew it.
Funny because I mean, I think we talked about this recently, but me and you actually went on a bro date back in like 2010, and we went to go watch the movie Predators with Adrian Brody.
Yeah. Dude, I thought about, so after I watched Predator last week, I almost went and bought Predators just to watch it. I love that movie too.
Because I actually just bought the Predator, the newest one. Me and Shelby went and saw it in theaters, but I was like, man, I have all of them. I just don't
haven't seen that one yet.
It is like, literally, dude, I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. There are some stupid ass things that they do. I hate the ending, but dude, that movie's a comedy. I was laughing my ass off the entire time. I mean, it's not like you're laughing, making fun of it. Mm-hmm. It's actually genuinely funny. Like they're telling jokes and they're landing. Like that movie is like a badass comedy. It should be its own genre.
See, and I think like that's the one thing about Predator and Alien, in my opinion. What makes what makes the games and what makes the movies so good is the setting for those movies. Because
atmosphere.
Predator 1, took place in the jungle. Predators was, this this jungle on a different planet.
Right.
Just the atmosphere of those games. The first Alien movie was on the Nostradamus. Is that what it's called?
The Nostromo.
Nostromo. That's what I think it was something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have remembered it if you had not dropped that. So
yeah,
we got there together.
But like those games, but those movies were good because of, I think, the atmosphere that they were in. AVP, like the mid 2000s AVP movie, it was okay. It was like a C movie action flick.
Yeah,
but it took place in a town, and like the alien and the Predator fought in like a high school or something.
Dude, okay,
it was so weird.
Dude, that movie. Like that's the thing. The first AVP that came out in like 2004. I mean, I was 12 when it came out, so I loved it. And even today, I can sit down and watch.
I bought it on Blu-ray a few years ago because I remember watching it when I was younger.
The only problem with it, and it's not necessarily a problem because the movie holds up and is fine. There's a lot of practical, like Alien and Predator effects, not all CGI, which is surprising given it came out in 2004, which is like every movie in those days was like CGI was just like
CGI heavy.
But it's got a lot of practical effects. It's the only one that's not rated R, so you're missing a lot of the gore factor.
Yeah.
other Aliens and Predator movies. But I feel like people were upset about it not being rated R. That they made AVP Requiem just to make it rated R, and it was just, dude, it felt like a straight to TV movie.
Yeah,
and
that's why when Predators came out,
I mean, you couldn't bleep and see.
that's why when Predators came out, I came out of that movie loving it, just because of, it almost felt like they were going back to basics a little bit. Like, okay, they're on this far off. They're in this far off forest somewhere,
Yeah.
On this planet. Like, they're stranded, and it's like the most dangerous game. The atmosphere that was created for that movie was, I think, was fantastic.
You want to know something crazy about that movie? They approached Arnold Schwarzenegger to make a return for the movie Predators.
Did they really?
Yeah, dude. Can you imagine where that movie would be if it was Arnie reprising his role and being
as
like
Dutch?
As Dutch, dude. That's what the plan was. And oh my god, that would have been phenomenal. I mean, that's the thing. I enjoy Predators too. I like that movie. But man, if they would have gotten Dutch,
that would have put it on a whole other level. Although I will say, Adrian Brody, I thought, did an awesome job as that main character, like mercenary soldier. You don't really know what he's about, kind of.
Right.
I thought he did a great job.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, I like I said, as a fan of the source material, it's up there. It's honestly, that might be like my second favorite Predator movie, not counting AP.
Like, honestly, one of my weirdly favorite scenes in that movie was the Yakuza boss having that old fashioned samurai fight with the Predator. That I thought that was so fucking cool, and that they both killed each other. Like, that was the other thing. Like, like you thought the Predator would have him.
Yep.
But no.
I also love that he took it. I remember because I don't know why I remember this, but when they all head off into the jungle, that Yakuza dude takes off his shoes and goes barefoot. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
like neat little things like that. Like, if you think about the original Predator, you have all these guys, but in Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's like, how do you make Arnold Schwarzenegger not overshadow all the biggest bro movie ever? And they gave them things that made them unique, like Shane Black's character, the guy who actually directed the newest Predator movie, has all the dirty jokes in the original Predator. I don't know if you knew that, but the actor who has all the dirty jokes in the first Predator directed the newest Predator movie. And then
really? Yeah. The guy with the glasses?
Yep. He directed the newest bitch. Yep, that's Shane Black. He acted in the original Predator and then directed the newest.
That's funny.
Yeah, and they gave all those characters little things about them that made them like, oh, that's the dude with the minigun and the MTV t-shirt, Jesse Ventura, and then you got the dude that's always shaven, and it's like they gave them little quirks that made them stand out, and they did that with Predators too, and it makes you like the characters, and makes them stand out, because I mean, when you have a movie like that, it's like, okay, take like any movie where there's something like a big monster that's killing people. What lifts the movie into like the stratosphere is like, if you just came for the Predators to kill people, it's like, yeah, it's a popcorn movie, you can eat it, you can enjoy it. But what really makes the movie better is like, you care about the characters. Like Jaws, for example, wouldn't have been nearly as good if you didn't care about those characters. You didn't want the shark to eat those characters because you liked them, and so so I feel like building your characters is really important, and if you have that, it raises monster flicks to like a place where very few of them go, and I think and that's one thing about Predator that I think did really well, especially the original Predator, which is what you talked about earlier, set in the jungle. It's actually set outside. The entire movie's outside, and you still feel claustrophobic because it just feels like the jungle is breathing down your neck in every shot, just like Aliens.
It's so dense.
Yeah. There's always foliage between the camera and the actor, and it just makes you feel like you're outside in this environment, but it's just breathing down your neck the entire time. The perfect place for an intergalactic hunter to hunt your ass, and that's great, dude. It is a 80s action movie that like stuck. It's like, that's good. And then you got Stan Winston's Predator. Whoo-wee.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to take a couple minutes. So what I want to do, because I do want to talk about Fallout 76 a little bit.
Right on.
So what I'll do is I'll kind of tell you about the post, the roadmap post that they had today, and
Oh yeah.
then next week we'll go more in depth about it after you've had time to stool on it a little bit.
Ooh.
Um, and maybe if you play Fallout, between now and then, and
Stool.
you know, but just so you have some more thoughts on it. But I do want to tell you about it because it was actually, there was a lot of news on it today.
Oh yeah.
They had their roadmap for for 2020 and then looking forward. So one thing that they're introducing, and this is kind of what every game now, or in MMO, just any game in general, is adding, is seasons,
Okay.
which is really cool. So starting this summer, they're introducing seasons. So like you have a separate leveling system, almost like I mean, the only thing I can relate it to now that you would get, because I know you have it, is the battle pass in COD.
Got you. Yeah.
So you have this whole separate leveling system where you earn different items and stuff, and this and that. So the cool thing is that the first inaugural season that they're going to do this summer is going to be completely free for all players. So you're basically, it's and they said it's going to be set up kind of like a game board in a way, where like you'll have your character that's kind of moving through this game board trail, leveling up to level 100, and you're getting all this extra stuff. But they're gonna have 4 seasons a year, I think is what they said they're gonna do, which is really cool. They're gonna have, each season's gonna last 10 weeks, and then they're gonna have a few weeks in between each season as kind of a cool down.
Okay.
But it's going to add a bunch of content to the game, a bunch of events and missions to the game and stuff like that, which is going to be really cool. They are also, this fall, they're going to be doing some more overhauling with the combat and in the game. I think what they're, based off the article, they are making it kind of like Elder Scrolls Online, where the enemies kind of level to what your level is, but
Oh,
you can still co-op with other people, and the enemies will kind of tier to their level.
okay.
So one wasteland for all is what they call it, but it's almost like one Tamriel for all
Oh,
is
got
what that update was. Is essentially is what it's doing, which is really cool. They're also looking at adding, it's called instance camps. So on your campsite, I guess there's going to be some sort of door or some sort of trap door or something that you can put on your camp that would bring you into an instance room where you can continue to build your camp out more. So like
oh, okay.
almost like, let's say you have your camp and then you have this cellar door that you can put in your camp. You click on it and it takes you into an instance room where you
That,
have your cellar that you build out. You know what I
that's
mean?
pretty cool. Yeah. So it doesn't
Yeah,
actually have to take up game world room. Because I mean, how could you have
exactly.
a cellar in Fallout 76 now? It would have to be an instanced area. That's really cool.
I think that's one of the big things that people are wanting, are the increased camp limit, which is, I guess, is very hard to do with how the game runs. So
By
I
camp,
think this is
say
their way of doing
multiplayer
it.
camp or more stash.
Like more stash and just more items for your camp,
Got
just increasing it so you can add more to it. I think this is their way of doing it. Like, okay, we can give you an option. It'll just have to be like an instance room, which I'm okay with, because the aesthetic of that would be really cool. Like if you could have a doorway that goes into like a mini vault that you create, or like an underground vault, or an underground base
cool.
or something like that.
Yeah,
So
that'd be
that's
neat.
something that they're doing. And the big thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Fractured Steel year long Brotherhood of Steel story arc that they're going to
Oh no!
starting this winter.
Woo! Brotherhood of Steel over
Yes.
here.
So taking another, and I'm glad that they're kind of taking inspiration from Elder Scrolls Online, but taking inspiration from Elder Scrolls, how they've been doing their campaign stories yearly now. How it's been like a year long story arc that they've been doing. They're
Right.
doing their first one that they're doing with Fallout is with the Brotherhood of Steel,
Okay.
and
And this is the free one.
I, I'm assuming that the campaign will be free.
Okay.
I think the only thing that's going to cost money is the seasons. The first season is like the inaugural summer season is going to be free for all players, but I think going forward, the seasons are going to be, like season
Right.
passes that you can purchase for more content.
Okay.
But I think the story arc is is going to be free, like it's like the Wastelanders expansion.
Dude, hell yeah, man! Brother
but
of
it's
Steel.
cool. Brotherhood of Steel returns to Appalachia in search of new technology. It says the continuation of the story arc started in Steel Dawn will introduce new NPCs, quests, companions to the wasteland or the West Virginia wasteland. So a lot to look forward in Fallout 76 this year. I mean, great time to get back into it. Wastelanders has been fantastic. I'm still playing it every single night, grinding out in-game stuff to get other in-game stuff. I don't want to spoil it because you haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really cool stuff, man. You've got to go back and play it, and let me know when you do. I'll totally jump in and play with you. But it's so fun. The story is really cool.
It's really crazy that we're at a point with Fallout 76 now that it's like, hey, you're looking forward to things that are, that are coming. Now that Wastelanders has created a good base for the game, to where it's like, hey, this is kind of like what players were wanting when the game launched. It's like, hey, now we're there, enjoy it, and then it's like, that they're not just gonna, quit. But now's the time to, now that, like I said, like if this is the game relaunching, in my opinion. Yeah. And like now we have expansions to look forward to. So yeah, if you're a Fallout fan who is disappointed with Fallout 76 launch and you haven't tried Wastelanders, definitely check it out. It adds a lot of what I was hoping was going to be in the game initially, and it looks like you have some really cool stuff to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, awesome stuff. But we can go into it more next. We're getting close to an hour now, so we can go into it more next week. Anything else you want to add? Any upcoming projects that you have coming up?
Oh, Jake. We got Live from My Basement. There's a game that I know I've been talking to you about that nobody probably listened to this knows is coming out in like a week, and it's Maneater.
Dude.
And it's going to be featured as much
Please
as I
tell me you're going to stream this game, and because I desperately want to watch things about this game.
Yeah, if you ever wanted to have a power fantasy of being a giant ass shark and going around and tormenting coastal communities, this game's for you. It's Maneater. It's coming to Xbox One, PS4, PC, and eventually, I recently just realized this, Nintendo Switch. So you can be a shark eating people.
I may wait until it comes out on Switch. I'm so pumped for that.
Dude, I'm afraid I'm going to love it. And I'm going to buy it twice.
Oh, man.
Yeah, in the game's own words, it is a shark PG. That's what they call it, in an open world environment where you are leveling up, changing your shark, changing species, getting new abilities, and it's meant to be played and lived out like a real-time television series. So, good God. And it's narrated by Jerry from Rick and Morty. So, I think the game might suck, but I'm telling you what, dude, I am going to.
Dude, when you've made the sale, stop selling. You know what I'm saying?
The game might be bad, but dude, I know I'm gonna have a good time. And so yeah, look forward to that. That's gonna be on the 20th, right around.
Where's that gonna be uploaded to? Like, where are you gonna post all this content?
YouTube channel, Live from My Basement, where you watch me and you play games and have a good time, and sometimes more of our ridiculous friends. So like, if you like this podcast, we're talking about playing more co-op horror. Check us out there. We're going to be playing games and running for our lives and having a good time. But if you're also, into sharks eating people, Maneater, check it out.
Yeah, check it out, man. YouTube.com/ live from my basement. One of these days I'm going to say it without screwing it up.
I like it. I'll get that into the URL link to the.
Yeah. And then YouTube.com/ live from a basement, guys. Check it out. Let's make the next 1,000 for Alex go by a lot quicker than the first 1,000. We can do it. We can all do it. Okay. And then also, if you like what if you like what you're hearing, don't forget to leave a rating on iTunes, 5 stars preferably. Leave a comment. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. I am always looking for critiquing. I also upload this to YouTube, youtube.com/pixelbeast. Check it out. They go up, the iTunes and YouTube go up on the same time. So make sure to check those out. But yeah, that's all I got. And again, congratulations to Alex for 1,000.
You just have that like ready to rock and roll.
Dude, I had that ready to go like 30 minutes ago. All right. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. We will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.